Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a throwaway account in the relationship advice subreddit. The post is titled, "My boyfriend had a major switch with sex last night. Now I'm having a lot of anxiety. Why would he switch like that? I am posting from a throwaway account because he knows my other one. I have been with my boyfriend for about 2 years. We have a great relationship and have always had a great sex life. He has always been respectful in bed, and whenever we have tried new things, we have always talked about it first. However, last night after our Valentine's dinner, I was getting out of the shower when he suddenly grabbed me and threw me onto the bed. This was not something we had ever done before. He was very aggressive. I immediately tensed up, but he kept telling me to say things like, 'I submit and I will do anything you want,' and other things he has never asked for. The whole thing was really rough and painful. At one point, I was in tears. I did not tell him to stop. I was in shock, because while we have done things like that before, never to that extent. He was smacking me and really choking me, covering my nose and mouth. He held me down. Throughout the night, there were multiple times he woke me up like that. I woke up this morning with some bruises and I am sore everywhere. He has never done anything like that before. We had both drunk plenty of wine and I was definitely drunk, and so was he. But even on other drunken nights, he has never done anything like that. This morning, I told him I was heading out for a workout because I just did not want to sit next to him. My anxiety is so bad. I do not know why he did not talk to me before doing all of that. Has anyone else had a partner suddenly switch like that in bed? He was perfectly normal this morning. He made breakfast for us and asked if I wanted to go on a walk with our dogs, as if last night was no big deal. I do not know how to talk to him about it. I feel awkward and embarrassed. The way he talked to me and touched me made me feel gross and small. I just do not know what would make him think that is acceptable. I do not know if I am overreacting or if I am being prudish. I promise I am not kink shaming. I am just really confused as to why he has never brought this up in all the time I have known him and we have been together." Update. I had not planned to make an update because it just seems strange to do so, but I have received a lot of messages asking about my safety and just wanted to let everyone know that I am okay. We did talk about what happened that night, mainly because he kept acting as if nothing had occurred. I had a panic attack during one of his attempts to initiate sex. I broke down and told him what happened. I showed him the bruises and told him that I was genuinely scared of him. He also broke down and admitted that he had taken ecstasy that night. A few weeks ago, he had asked if I would ever be interested in taking it, and I thought he was joking. I said no, and the topic was never brought up again. I had completely forgotten about that conversation. He still had some left over and went to get it from his truck to show me. He seemed incredibly apologetic. He begged me to forgive him and said he would do whatever it takes to make it work and give me time and space. He also offered to pay for couples counseling and individual therapy for me. We had just moved in together in a condominium he had purchased. He agreed to let me stay there, and he is staying with a friend in the meantime. We are not broken up, but are seeing if this is something I think is salvageable. I really love him, and I really want to believe this was something that happened during a drunken high night. He says he does not remember it and seems very remorseful. Even so, I recognize that it was not okay, and that does not make it better. It also raises a whole new issue of him taking something like that without discussing it with me. But that is really all the update is. I know it is not what the vast majority of you wanted to hear, but it is just where I am now. Thank you all for the support. Lurtriker2358 said, "This is a good lesson in asking people questions rather than answering on their behalf. No matter how well you know a person, you are not that person." To this comment, Old Chunk said, "It is important to note that ecstasy does not cause that. It makes you incredibly empathetic and affectionate, not aggressive. I suspect it might have been methamphetamine or at least laced with methamphetamine." MC1R said, "I had a boyfriend who would engage in incredibly rough sex without consent repeatedly. He would say that hurting me was an accident, or that he could not control himself, or that he had a limited understanding of BDSM. No, that is not true. I went on to have other sexual partners and realized he was in fact just an abusive person. The same is true for the boyfriend in the original post. Outside of clumsily bumping into someone or something similar, badly or repeatedly harming someone, particularly during sex, is not an accident." This next post was made in the AITA subreddit by a user named Advanced Narwhal. The post is titled, "Stepdaughter almost drowned in my pool and her mom and others are blaming me." Saturday night, I came back home at around 6 o'clock in the evening and my husband called me saying that he was supposed to pick up his daughter, who is 5 years old, from her mother's place. He was stuck at work, so her mother would drop her off at our house. I said okay and was watching television, expecting them to arrive soon. Around 8 o'clock in the evening, my dog started barking and jumping at the window. When I went to see what was going on, I noticed the pool water was rippling. I went outside and saw the little girl unconscious in the water. I pulled her out and she was not breathing. I called an ambulance while trying to revive her. The ambulance arrived within 10 minutes and I genuinely thought she had drowned, but thankfully they managed to save her. She is completely okay now. The thing is, I had no idea that her mother had already dropped her off. She did not knock or anything, so she probably just left her in front of the house. Her mother also came when she found out and tried to blame me, telling me I tried to murder her daughter. I already told my husband that they did not knock or enter the house, and I had no idea the girl was even there. Everything became even more chaotic. Basically, the woman kept yelling at me, telling me how she was going to fight me and things like how she was going to hold me underwater so I could see how that feels. First of all, if it had not been for my dog barking at the window, I would have had no idea the girl was in the pool, and she would have drowned because I had no idea that the mother dropped her off in front of the house without knocking or anything. I said this, and she spat at me. The police ended up holding her back, and then my husband returned. It was just so upsetting. After this, I received calls from the mother's parents, and they also tried to threaten me on the phone, but I shut them down. A couple of other people who I guess she told her version of this to called me and it was the same story. I know, or at least feel, that it is not my fault, but at present I want to clarify a few things. I forgot to mention that I do have a fence around the house in the backyard and it is usually locked, but that day it was not, which I know is my fault. Also, as I said, this is my house and this was the first time the girl was here, so I have no idea why her mother would just drop her off in front of a house she had never been to. I also do not know why the girl went to the pool when she could not have seen it from the street. I do not know why she went to the backyard. I'm not blaming her, I am just explaining. Additionally, my country does not have a law requiring a fence directly around the pool. There is usually a cover, but I wanted the water to get warmer. I do not currently live here, but I am renovating the house. Update. I will not go into full details, but my husband talked to his daughter. I still have not spoken to her or seen her since, and he asked her what happened. They arrived at the back of the house, not the front, because they thought that was the front, which is understandable. Still, the mother just dropped her off and drove away, thinking she would knock on the door and come inside. Thankfully, a neighbor's camera actually captured one side of the car, and it very clearly shows that the car stopped for no more than 30 seconds. Since it captured the driver's side, it is visible that the driver, the mother, did not exit the car and drove away. The girl said that she was going to knock on the door, but saw a frog in the grass by the pool and wanted to pick it up and bring it inside. The gate to the backyard was open and she went inside. The frog was running away from her and fell into the pool. She tried to reach for the frog and fell in as well. Even though what happened was horrible, thankfully she is okay now and it did not cause any serious damage. I already said in my previous post that the gate was unlocked, but even worse, she entered through the other side, which was completely open. Fortunately, the pool was not covered because if she had stepped on the cover, it would have literally trapped her inside. I feel really bad for what happened, knowing that part of leaving the gate open was my fault, but at least the worst outcome did not happen. I will not share any more about anything related to the situation with the mother and the police. Kay Howard said, "What the hell? I am 50 years old and I still watch as my friends enter their house when I drop them off. With my zero maternal instinct, I would probably walk the child up to the door, not the assailant." To this comment user presentation that said, "Or at least wait in the car, watching like a hawk while the child walks to the door, knocks, and the door is opened. Watch who opens the door. I am all for allowing children to develop independence, and you do that gradually. Watching from a close distance is totally reasonable when working on some independence. It also makes you seem omnipresent when you appear suddenly if your child is not acting right. Dead Letter Society said, "What the absolutely heck is wrong with people? Oh my goodness. That child is so lucky to be alive and that someone found her before it was too late. Wow, what an absolute mess." This final story was made in the relationship subreddit by a user named Limp Dot. The post is titled, "Need Advice Please." I broke my husband's trust by hiding late utility bills. I messed up badly and need some advice. My husband and I have been married for 15 years and generally have a great relationship. I really admire him. He is a wonderful husband, kind, conscientious, and loving. He is a nurse and works hard to support our family. He is the sole breadwinner. I am in charge of paying the bills in the family. 3 months ago, I got behind on our utility bill. We rent and pay gas and electric to the landlord. I did not tell my husband and planned to pay the balance over a few payments in order to get current. I should have told him. For background, my family is abusive and I was raised with a lot of guilt and secrecy around money. I have had issues in the past with my husband where I was not honest in my communication about financial issues or I kept information from him. I have bipolar disorder and he has been patient with the complications this has brought. He has also dealt with a lot of challenges from my family being intrusive and verbally abusive toward us. He asked me to promise never to keep things from him again, and we moved forward. I thought I had been doing much better with these issues and that we were really on track until November. Then, just after Thanksgiving, my mother got sick and died about 7 weeks later from COVID in January. During this time, we were also dealing with major winter storms and our car was crushed by a falling tree. My father and my sister ramped up their abusive behaviors in the wake of my mother's death. I thought I was generally coping all right, but I fell behind on paying our utility bills. I did not inform my husband. With all these chaotic events, I let myself fall back into old patterns of secrecy and was afraid to tell him. I felt like a failure and know I should have just told him. Now I am making payments and getting back on track. Things are fine with the landlord. However, this morning my husband received an email from the landlord's office with the statement of the past bills, and he is understandably furious with me for not telling him. I do not think he wants a relationship with me anymore. He thinks I am hiding other things from him. There is really no excuse. I was not dealing with my mother's death and the family fallout as well as I thought. I did not mean to keep this from him. I do not know what to do. I feel like everything is falling apart. I do not know how I can regain his trust. He is a wonderful person. I love him so much, and I feel terrible for keeping this from him after he asked me to please just be honest with him. I am crushed that I broke his trust. Does anyone have advice on what I can do? Thank you in advance for your help. I feel like my heart is being crushed out of my chest. Update. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to everyone for their comments, advice, and tough love. So many wonderful people reached out to me with advice and perspective. I tried to answer most of the comments. I'm sorry if I missed some, but I really appreciate everyone who took the time to give their input. As for the update, I had written the post on Friday and my husband slept in the spare room that night. When I got up on Saturday, he told me he had actually found the post on Reddit when he could not sleep and read everyone's comments. That gave us a lot to talk about, and again, I really appreciate everyone's input and good ideas. We had a really great talk about everything that has been going on. I told him again how sorry I was that I broke his trust and that I completely understand why he is upset. My husband said that some of the comments reframed the situation a little bit for him, and we were able to have a long talk about all the fear, shame, and issues with communication we both have around money. He said he realized he should have been more involved with the finances, but he has also had some anxiety about money in the past. So he was basically leaving me to handle it, so he did not have to think about it, and he was sorry for that. We are going to do things differently in the future. As several Redditors suggested, going forward, my husband and I will be having weekly check-in meetings to review all the financial matters, what bills are paid that week, and so on. I never want to go down this path again, so we are feeling really good about this plan and sticking to it. I had my first therapy appointment this morning via Zoom. My husband is super excited for me and really happy in general that I finally took the step of seeing a professional. The therapist seems like a good fit so far, and I will be going weekly. Seeing so many comments telling me I needed to get in with a therapist was a wake-up call. All the comments reminding me of the toll my actions were taking on my marriage were a wake-up call. My husband is a great guy, and I'm so thankful we are working to move forward on this. I am looking forward to working with the therapist. It is a little scary, but definitely for the best. My husband is really excited for me to feel better, so that is helping me feel more positive about it as well. So all in all, things are looking much better and we have an action plan for going forward. I was really blown away by all the sincere and wonderful advice and support I received from the kind folks of Reddit. I really do not know how well I would have handled this situation without all of you. Again, thank you so much to everyone. The next time Bandit said, having both partners involved in finances is really important. I handle some bills and my wife handles others. This way, we are aware of what is going on and there are no surprises. To this comment, user Snoopet said, it is one of the few things I fully agree with Dave Ramsey on. Yes, one person can execute transactions and calculate numbers if that is what is easiest, but finances should never be just one person's responsibility to manage in a relationship. Both people should know what is coming in and what is going out. It is not right to put all the mental burden on one person to figure it out, and it also is not safe for one person to be in the dark. Sitama Mama said, I think having weekly meetings about finances is one solution, but it could also be a good idea to have a readily available display of what bills are coming up, what has been paid, and what is in the bank. I have a whiteboard on my fridge that tracks the bills, though not my bank account, to help me out, but for different reasons. I never miss a bill without the board, but seeing it every day helps ease my constant anxiety about all things financial by providing ready reassurance that I did pay a bill or that another bill does not need to be paid yet, and so on. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.